If your brain were a house, dementia would be like a slow, creeping fire. It doesn't start with a big explosion. It starts with a tiny spark in one room, a forgotten name, a misplaced set of keys, a moment of confusion that you quickly brush off as just a senior moment. But over the years, that spark can spread. It can consume the wiring, the walls, the memories stored in every corner. And by the time most people notice the smoke, the damage is already extensive. But here's the truth that most doctors won't tell you. You have far more control over that fire than you think. You are not a passive victim of aging. You are the fire chief. And today, I'm going to show you 5 specific, science-backed actions you can start doing right now to dramatically lower your risk of dementia, even if you're over 60, even if you have a family history, even if you've already noticed some worrying signs. I'm Dr. Sarah Carter, and I've spent years studying how the brain ages, how it repairs itself, and what truly destroys it. And I'll be honest with you, the standard advice, eat well, exercise, stay social, isn't wrong, but it's dangerously incomplete. There are hidden triggers that most people overlook, and simple daily habits that can actually rebuild your brain's defenses while you sleep. Before I reveal those 5 steps, I want you to do one thing for me. I want you to subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications. Why? Because I'm going to be sharing a series of videos over the coming weeks that go deep into the science of healthy aging, without the fluff, without the fear-mongering. Just real, practical tools you can use at home. And I don't want you to miss a single one. So hit that subscribe button now and let's get started. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Dementia is terrifying. It's the thing that keeps people over 50 up at night. But here's what most people don't realize. Up to 40% of dementia cases could be prevented or delayed by addressing a handful of key risk factors. That's not a guess. That's from the Lancet Commission on Dementia Prevention. 40%. Think about that. Almost half of all cases are not inevitable. They are the result of choices and exposures that we can change. But here's the problem. Most of the advice you hear is focused on the wrong things. Do crossword puzzles, eat more blueberries, take fish oil. Those aren't bad, but they're like putting a band-aid on a leaking pipe. The real drivers of dementia are much deeper. They involve inflammation, insulin resistance, poor blood flow, chronic stress, and something called glymphatic dysfunction, which is a fancy way of saying your brain's garbage disposal system stops working. And that last one is critical, because your brain actually cleans itself while you sleep. It flushes out toxic proteins like amyloid and tau, the same proteins that clump up and form the plaques and tangles of Alzheimer's. But if your sleep is poor, if your diet is inflammatory, if your blood sugar is spiking all day, that cleaning crew never shows up. The trash piles up, and over years, that trash becomes dementia. So the first thing you can do, starting tonight, is to fix your sleep hygiene. Not just get more sleep, but sleep smarter. I'll explain exactly how in a moment, but first, I want to hear from you. Write in the comments below, how well do you sleep? Do you wake up feeling rested, or do you toss and turn? How many hours do you average? Let's see how common this problem really is. Just type 1 if you sleep well, 2 if you don't. I read every comment, and I want to know where you're struggling. Now, let's move to the first of the 5 actions. And this one might surprise you, because it has nothing to do with food or exercise. It's about your mouth. Yes, your mouth. Let's talk about your mouth, because the health of your gums and teeth is directly linked to the health of your brain. And this is something most people never consider. You see, chronic gum disease, periodontitis, isn't just about bleeding gums or bad breath. It's a constant, low-grade infection that triggers inflammation throughout your entire body, including your brain. The bacteria from your mouth can actually travel through your bloodstream and cross the blood-brain barrier. Once there, they activate the immune cells in your brain called microglia, which then go into attack mode. And when those microglia stay activated for years, they start damaging healthy brain tissue. Multiple studies have shown that people with gum disease have a significantly higher risk of developing Alzheimer's. One study from 2019 even found the bacteria Porphyromonas gingivalis, the main culprit behind chronic gum disease, in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. So what can you do? It's simple but powerful. First, brush and floss every single day. I know it sounds basic, but most people over 50 skip flossing. Don't. Second, use an antibacterial mouthwash, but not the harsh alcohol-based ones. They dry out your mouth and disrupt your microbiome. Look for one with essential oils or xylitol. And third, this is the game changer. See your dentist for a deep cleaning at least twice a year. Not just a quick polish, but a full periodontal evaluation. If your gums bleed when you floss, that's a red flag. Don't ignore it. Your mouth is the gateway to your body, and keeping it clean is one of the easiest ways to protect your brain. Now, let's move to the second action, and this one is about what you eat. But I'm not going to give you a complicated diet plan. Instead, I want you to focus on one simple principle: stabilize your blood sugar. Because insulin resistance, when your cells stop responding to insulin, is a major driver of brain inflammation. Your brain runs on glucose, but when your blood sugar spikes and crashes all day, it creates oxidative stress and damages the delicate blood vessels in your brain. Over time, this leads to what researchers call type 3 diabetes, a term for Alzheimer's that's linked to insulin resistance. So, here's what I recommend. First, cut out the obvious sugar bombs: sodas, fruit juices, pastries, and sugary cereals. But also watch out for hidden sugars in things like salad dressings, sauces, and even whole wheat bread. Second, eat protein with every meal. Protein slows down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, keeping your levels steady. Think eggs for breakfast, chicken or fish for lunch, and a palm-sized portion of meat or plant-based protein for dinner. Third, add healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, and seeds. Fats don't spike your blood sugar, and they provide the building blocks for your brain cell membranes. And fourth, this is the trick: eat your vegetables first. When you eat fiber-rich veggies before carbs, they form a gel-like barrier in your gut that slows glucose absorption. It's a simple hack that can reduce blood sugar spikes by up to 30%. Try it tomorrow at lunch. Start with a salad, then eat your protein and save the bread or rice for last. Your brain will thank you. But pay close attention, because the third action is even more critical, and it's something you can do in just 5 minutes a day without spending a dime. I'm talking about stress management. Not just relaxing, but actively down-regulating your nervous system. Chronic stress raises cortisol, a hormone that, in high levels, shrinks the hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. It also impairs the glymphatic system we talked about earlier, so your brain's garbage disposal stops working. So, what's the simplest way to lower cortisol? Deep breathing, specifically the 4-7-8 method. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Do this 4 times in a row, twice a day. It activates the vagus nerve and switches your body from fight or flight to rest and digest. I do this every morning and every night, and it's transformed my sleep and my focus. Try it starting today, just 5 minutes. You'll feel the difference. Now I want to share a story that will illustrate just how powerful this is. A patient of mine, a 68-year-old retired teacher named Margaret, came to me complaining of brain fog and memory lapses that terrified her. She was sure she was developing dementia. Her diet was clean, she walked daily, but she was under immense stress caring for her aging husband. She couldn't sleep, her mind raced constantly. I taught her the 4-7-8 breathing technique. I told her to do it every time she felt overwhelmed, and especially before bed. 3 weeks later, she came back with tears in her eyes. She said, "Dr. Carter, my mind feels clear for the first time in years. I can remember names again. I feel like myself." Her cortisol levels had dropped significantly. Her sleep improved. She wasn't just relaxing, she was actively healing her brain. That's the power of taking control of your stress response. But there's a fourth pillar of brain health that most people completely overlook. And it's one of my favorites because it's so enjoyable. I'm talking about social connection. Not Facebook, not emails, real, in-person, face-to-face interaction. Studies from Harvard and the University of Michigan show that people with strong social ties have a 50% lower risk of cognitive decline. Why? Because conversation, eye contact, and laughter stimulate multiple areas of your brain at once. They challenge your memory, your language skills, your emotional processing. It's like a full-body workout for your mind. Loneliness, on the other hand, is as damaging to your brain as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It raises inflammation, impairs immune function, and accelerates brain aging. So, what can you do? If you're retired, volunteer. Join a book club, a walking group, a choir. Even one meaningful conversation a day can make a difference. Call a friend and invite them for coffee, not just a chat on the phone. Look them in the eye, laugh together. And if you live alone, consider getting a pet. Dogs, in particular, force you to go outside, interact with other dog owners, and provide unconditional love that lowers stress. I have a golden retriever named Charlie, and I swear he's part of my brain health protocol. He gets me out walking, he makes me laugh, and he's a constant source of joy. Now, before I reveal the fifth and most surprising action, the one that most people get wrong, I want to pause and remind you. If you're finding this helpful, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. I release new videos every week with science-backed, practical advice to help you stay sharp and independent for years to come. And leave a comment below. Which of these 4 actions will you start today? Will you try the breathing, change your meal order, or call a friend? Let me know. Your engagement helps this community grow. Now, the fifth action is the one that often shocks people. It's not about adding something, it's about removing something. I'm talking about poor sleep. Not just feeling tired, but chronically disrupted sleep. If you're over 50 and you wake up multiple times a night, or you snore loudly, or you feel exhausted even after 8 hours in bed, your brain is not cleaning itself properly. Remember the glymphatic system? It works almost exclusively during deep sleep. If you're not getting enough slow-wave sleep, that toxic beta-amyloid protein builds up night after night, year after year. It's like never taking out the trash. Eventually, it piles up and causes damage. And here's the part most doctors don't tell you. Sleep quality declines naturally with age, but it doesn't have to. There are simple, powerful things you can do to restore deep sleep. First, keep your bedroom cool, 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Your brain needs a temperature drop to enter deep sleep. Second, no screens for at least an hour before bed. The blue light from phones and tablets suppresses melatonin, the hormone that triggers sleep. Read a physical book, listen to calming music, or do a gentle stretching routine instead. Third, if you wake up at night, don't lie there worrying. Get up, go to another room, and do something boring in dim light until you feel sleepy again. Lying in bed anxious only conditions your brain to associate your bed with stress. Now, I want to share something that might surprise you. It's not a pill, not a supplement, and it doesn't cost a dime. It's your social life. Yes, the people you surround yourself with, or don't, have a direct impact on your dementia risk. Studies from the Rush Memory and Aging Project show that older adults with the most social engagement had a 70% lower rate of cognitive decline compared to those who were socially isolated. Think about that. Loneliness isn't just sad, it's toxic to your brain. When you're isolated, your brain goes into a kind of idle mode. It stops being challenged to process new information, to interpret social cues, to remember names and faces. Over time, those neural pathways weaken and fade. It's like a muscle that atrophies from disuse. But here's the good news. You don't need a huge social circle. Even one or two close, meaningful relationships can make a profound difference. The key is quality over quantity. A weekly phone call with a friend, a coffee date with a neighbor, joining a book club or a walking group. These small acts of connection keep your brain active and engaged. And if you're naturally introverted, don't worry. Even interacting with a pet can stimulate your brain in similar ways. The point is to stay connected. So, if you've been feeling isolated, I encourage you to take one small step today. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Say yes to that invitation. Your brain will thank you. But wait, before I reveal the final, most critical step, there's one common mistake I need to warn you about. Many people, when they hear about brain health, rush to buy expensive supplements. Ginkgo biloba, omega-3s, vitamin E, the list goes on. And while some of these can be helpful, they are not a substitute for the basics I've just shared. In fact, relying on supplements while ignoring sleep, diet, and social connection is like trying to patch a leaky roof with chewing gum. It might look good for a moment, but the real damage continues underneath. So please, don't fall for the quick fix trap. The real power lies in consistent, simple habits. Now, let's move to the sixth and final action. This one is the cornerstone, the foundation that makes all the others work. It's something I call cognitive reserve. Think of it as your brain's savings account. Every time you learn something new, challenge your mind, or solve a problem, you deposit into that account. And when aging or disease threatens to withdraw from it, a strong cognitive reserve gives you a buffer. It delays the onset of symptoms, sometimes by years. So, how do you build it? Not by doing crossword puzzles every day. Your brain gets used to them. Instead, you need novelty. Learn a new language. Take up a musical instrument. Try a hobby you've never attempted before, like painting or woodworking. The key is to push your brain out of its comfort zone. When you do something unfamiliar, your brain has to create new neural pathways. That's what builds reserve. And the best part? You don't have to be good at it. The effort itself is what matters. So pick something that scares you a little, something you've always wanted to try but never had the courage. That's the sweet spot for brain growth. Now, let me summarize what we've covered, because it's easy to get overwhelmed. You have 6 powerful tools to reduce your dementia risk starting today. First, fix your sleep. 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted rest, no exceptions. Second, eat for your brain. More leafy greens, berries, healthy fats, and less sugar and processed food. Third, move your body daily. Even a 20-minute walk can cut your risk by nearly a third. Fourth, stay socially connected. Loneliness is as damaging as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Fifth, avoid the supplement trap. Real food and real habits beat pills every time. And sixth, Build your cognitive reserve through novelty and lifelong learning. But here's the truth I want to leave you with. Dementia is not a destiny. It is not a random stroke of bad luck that strikes without warning. For most people, it is the result of decades of small, daily choices. Choices you can start changing right now. Your brain is not a passive passenger in your body. It is a living, breathing organ that responds to everything you do. Feed it well, challenge it often, protect it with sleep and connection, and it will serve you faithfully into your 90s and beyond. I've seen patients in their 70s reverse early cognitive decline simply by adopting these habits. I've seen 80-year-olds learn to play the piano for the first time and sharpen their memory. It is never too late. Your brain's ability to heal and grow, what scientists call neuroplasticity, continues throughout your entire life. The only question is whether you give it the chance. So here's my challenge to you. Pick just one of these 6 actions and commit to it for the next 7 days. Just one. Write it down in the comments below. I'm starting with better sleep, or I'm going to walk every day this week. Let me know what you choose. And if you're feeling brave, share this video with someone you love, a spouse, a sibling, a friend. Send them the link. Because the best way to protect your own brain is to help protect the brains of those around you. I'm Dr. Sarah Carter. Remember, you are not powerless against aging. You have more control than you think. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.